Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you? My glasses. Man, let me get my glasses right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you? Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Let's go live. Let's go live everywhere. How are you? How are you? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. How are you doing tonight? Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui, and some people call me Little Boy. If you're from the 767 Whitey Kubuli, tall as a body, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Whitey Kubuli, you call me Havis and you call me Little Boy. But if you're from Point Michelle, aka La Pointe, you call me Little Boy. So welcome. We welcome people into the program tonight. Let's take our time as people are starting to come in. Let me go share it some places. Let me cue up my theme song while people are starting to come in. How are you, man? It was a beautiful day today. It was almost 90 degrees today. Tomorrow's supposed to be in the 90s. So I hope you guys are out here getting your exercise, your walking, all of that good stuff. I'm trying to find something to play for you guys, my theme song, but we'll see if we can find it in a second. So how are you? How are you? Hope everyone's doing well and everyone's doing good. Let me actually go to YouTube and put it on my WhatsApp as well, so people can actually tune in. Some people usually they forget about Tuesdays with Terrence, so I kind of put it on WhatsApp and they can get to watch it for a little bit. Let's put it on right here. All right, let's get it on WhatsApp for them. Let's copy the link. Let's go to WhatsApp and make it viewable for everybody out there. So just talk to me, man. How are you guys doing on this beautiful Tuesday evening? Hope everyone is doing fine. I think now it's right. I want to say I am live. All right, whoever wants to tune in can tune in. But good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get it all tuned up. Let's play our theme song, then we'll start our show. People are starting to come in. I hope you like my shirt. Let me put it up so you guys can see it a little better. You see my shirt? Yes. I don't have any, let's see, virtual background tonight. Let me see if I can put one on for you guys. It's not working. So we're going to keep it just as it is. You'll see me just like this. So welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's play our theme song and get started, all right? So we'll be able to enjoy our Tuesdays with Terrence. Ready? There we go. Here we go. Tuesdays with Terrence. Welcome. Boom.
Dominica made me. That's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City like shining dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Welcome to Tuesday with Terrence. How are you tuning? Welcome to tuning in tonight.
On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City like shining dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Welcome to This is Terrence. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. Every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am, from the Mid-Atlantic to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong, with purpose and pride, together with my journey, side by side.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Hope you're doing well. Hope you guys are having a great week. Today was a beautiful day. It's still warm outside. I haven't even put out the garbage yet. Tomorrow's garbage day. Right now, where I'm at, the temperature is 83 degrees. I actually even turned on the AC today. Tomorrow's supposed to be 90. Thursday, 89. Friday, 86. Saturday, 8. It's just hot. And I ain't complaining because it was cold this winter. I ain't complaining. So June Bardui Ansem, Saka Fet, Kuman Ye, how are you? Bonsoir, and all that good stuff. How you doing tonight? I have a good show planned for you tonight. We're gonna attack some stuff that people don't want to attack. I'm also gonna, let me see. I don't think I need to put anything here because I think it's let's check and see. It shows that I'm on live. Yes, it does. So people can usually actually check in with me and see how I'm doing. So how are you people doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Let's put our banners up. We got the banners up today. And April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month, and, we're going to talk about ethnicities and wealth creation tonight. Ethnicities and wealth creation. So sit down, get some notes, get your pads, just put some, the stuff that you learn, share it with someone else. If you're not making any decisions for yourself, you can certainly share it with someone else. So I want to say welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. A couple of announcements, tomorrow at Virginia Commonwealth University, there is a job fair at American Classic Agency. The company that cares will be there. I will be there, trying to recruit some of these young college-educated entrepreneurs, trying to get them into the financial services arena. So I'm looking forward to that. I will be there in full-fledged and effect, I was talking to someone and I told them tonight I was going to put my Tuesdays with Terrence shirt on, and I didn't do that. Maybe I'll do it next week. I got Jesus. That's right. We all need Jesus, right? Whether you believe it or not, you need him. But this is a financial show. We're not going to talk about religion today, but we all should have a relationship with him. Good. So let's take a look at the markets and see how the markets did today. Not bad. The Dow Jones was up 317 points. The NASDAQ was up 455.35 points. And the S&P is about 81.14. One of my friends who I look at their 401k all the time, that means tomorrow they're going to have a bigger balance, and they should be happy. Let's see where they are right now. I'm logging into their account. Okay. Oh, good. So tomorrow they should be over 270 grand. All right. Good for them. All right. Proud of you. So how are you beautiful people doing tonight? Welcome to the show. Welcome. For those of you, let me see if there's anybody on Instagram watching. Beach Bashal, how are you doing? And anybody else who's watching, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. I have a great show in store for you tonight. All right. So before I continue and get into what we're going to discuss tonight, try to put some stuff to the side. Let me get my make sure it's showing on all platforms. Let me log on in on my phones to make sure the Tuesdays with Terrence is streaming on all my platforms. And I know it is, but I like to always be on the up and up. Yeah, I can see it. All right. Okay. But Dewey Financial, let's put it up here. There it is. Yeah, I'm live. I'm live. I'm live and in effect. Live and in effect. So that's good. That's good. So for those of you who've tuned in, I have a good show for you tonight. We're gonna have some candid conversations on ethnicities. We're gonna talk about what some of the ethnicities do, and it doesn't matter where you stand in your ethnicity. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, red, whatever you are. So let me get my little pad out. We have some different stuff here that I want to address today. Let's see. Let's put it over here and turn that down so everybody can see me. All right, good. All right. So tonight we're going to go straight to the gusto. We're not going to spend too much time on foolishness. I want to say good evening to Mr. Alvin and Melinda Frazier, who's watching, Decima Timothy Myers, and anybody else who's watching tonight. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. We're going to have a candid conversation tonight. You can see what the topic is. Man, that says Black History Month. Wait a minute. What's going on here? My banner, I got the wrong banner up. Hold on. Let's hide that banner. Let's see what's going on here. Let's edit it. All right. What's going on here? All right. So we can save that and show it. April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month. Ethnicities and wealth creation. What we're talking about. Ethnicities and wealth creation. So in America, the majority is whites, or you want to call them Caucasians. They have the highest aggregate wealth in the United States. The white folks, they got the highest aggregate wealth. Whether you say they got their wealth based on slavery or inheritances or whatever you want to call it, they have on aggregate, the wealth in the United States. All right. So what you might say is, well, how can we equal that? Well, I don't think the topic tonight is how you equal it. I think the topic tonight is, what are you doing? What's your ethnicity or your brand is doing? Well, let's look at some other cultures here in the United States. African Americans, they're big on culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, technology, and entertainment. One thing about black folks, boy, African Americans, they like looking good and smelling good, and they like to be in vogue and be in style. I remember back in the day when I was a young banker, back in the day, I want to say, Melinda, bonsoir, sac passé, sac à fait, chérie. Bon? But the funny thing about it is, one of the things I think that's really important for us, of people of color, a lot of us, we like to be in vogue. We have to have the latest car, the latest outfit, the latest iPhone, the latest sneaker. We're big on fashion and culture and trends and music and beauty. Don't get me wrong. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You should look good, don't get me wrong. I think all my listeners are beautiful and handsome. Technology, we got to have the latest gadgets, entertainment. Excuse me. Some of you spend like 2,000, I don't know, 5,000, go see Beyonce, stuff like that. Like, some of you making the money. All right. And I'm not hating on you for that. So again, the white folk, The Caucasians have the highest aggregate wealth in this country. African Americans, we're big on culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, tech, entertainment, stuff like that. Your 21st birthday, we gotta have a big party. Your 50th birthday, you gotta have a big party. I'm not picking on people who do that. I just went to a 50th birthday party a couple of weeks ago on Long Island, New York. It was awesome. This girl planned this thing over a year. She did a fabulous job, and I'm very proud of her. And I'm not knocking her or anybody who does that, but we're big on those things, right? So now we go to Hispanics, Latina. The Hispanics, they're big on food, housing, family related goods. That's really important to them, the Hispanics. Then you have the Asians. They're big on real estate, education, technology, stuff like that. But if you notice, when I mentioned four ethnicities, right? The whites, and I mentioned, the Caucasians, on aggregate, they have the largest wealth in this country. I talk about the Hispanics, what they're huge on, food, housing, family related goods. The Asians, housing, real estate, education, tech, all of that good stuff, right? But if you notice, when I talk about African Americans, I say we're huge on culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, technology, entertainment, looking good. And I'm not saying the other ethnicities don't do that. That's not my point. But if you notice, it didn't talk about we're big on education, although in America, the highest educated demographics is African American women. So Black women in the United States are the highest educated demographic. We have a lot of, I have friends and family who have doctorates and medical degrees and master's degrees and college degrees. And it doesn't mean that because someone doesn't have one of those that they're not good, but, African American women are huge on that, right? But yet, we're down when it comes to wealth creation, because it's not a priority. And I don't want to hear about slavery. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to hear about reparations, because you ain't getting it. We ain't getting it. You ain't getting reparations in the Caribbean. You ain't getting reparations here in America. All right. So what you got to do, and I know, we've gone through our struggles. Every February is Black History Month, and we get very vocal. I think Black history is 24/7, 365. So I'm always promoting that myself. But, we're so concerned about looking good and smelling good. I don't know if we're concerned that we are good. Music, dancing, entertainment, sport, we're good at that stuff. But, I think if I read something, let me scratch my head. I read something, right? I can't remember how long ago. If we take in all the income and what we add to the economy as African Americans in this country, it would be bigger than the GDP of multiple countries. Because we spend millions and billions of dollars on certain hair products. 80% of that hair stuff is controlled by the Koreans. They do. But you got to look, your hair got to look good. I remember back in the day, man, if a girl had natural hair, it was like a sin. I see a lot of ladies now going natural, but I don't care what you put. I don't care if you have a perm, a wig, natural, ball. I think ball's sexy anyways, on men and women. I don't care. But whatever it is that you have, it's paramount that you understand what you're trying to do and accomplish, especially, us. So I just mentioned African Americans. I'm going to talk about us for a while tonight. We're huge on culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, tech, technology, entertainment. We're big on, I know, the Jewish have the bat mitzvahs when you reach a certain age, the Hispanics have the Sweet 16. They have these big parties and stuff. But, people will spend a lot of money for a big 40th or 50th. They may get a belly pierce, get a tongue, get a piercing, and all of that stuff is fine. I'm not here to ostracize you for doing that. Whatever floats your boat. But my key this evening, Daryl, what's up, my brother? Good to see you. How you doing? Hope you're doing well in Florida. But my topic this evening is, why is it that the other ethnicities are doing the things to create wealth, and we're doing stuff to create havoc? We got to look good, smell good. Don't get me wrong. You got to wash your, what? You got to smell good. You got to look good. But what about creating generational wealth? I was having a discussion with a colleague today, and we were saying that if him and I got to talk to every athlete or entertainer who's making all this money, none of them would ever be broke. Not how we would structure plans for them. Some of these people have these advisors and these managers and stuff like that, and but there's no plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Remember one time they said Mike Tyson lost $300 million. No, he had bad management, people taking advantage of him. I understand that, but there's no way in hell anybody should lose $300 million. Nobody. All right. So again, we are big on those things. We're huge on culture, fashion, trends. People will spend more time cleaning their car than financial literacy. People will spend more time, planning a vacation. Or we got to go to Dubai. Remember when Dubai was the thing? Every black person had to go to Dubai. Remember when it was Brazil? Rio de Janeiro, when was the Dominican Republic? It's so funny. I saw something today, and I wanted to make a post about it, right? And laugh in a good way at my fellow Americans. Like WhatsApp, it's kind of like WhatsApp. People from the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, that's how people communicate. WhatsApp, because it's free. It's just an app. You're using internet or data to communicate. So if you have, like my sister, who's watching tonight, she's in Boston. She texted me good morning today, but it's on WhatsApp. It wasn't a regular text. So Caribbean folks, African folks, European folks, people from other countries, Caribbeans, Central America, South America, we communicate on WhatsApp. So if you text an American, someone who was born here, they've been here, they've always been here, you text them on WhatsApp, you take them weeks to answer. But you text a Caribbean person on WhatsApp or an African, you get an answer immediately. So I always laugh at that. I just saw one of my friends now on WhatsApp, one of my American friends, and I haven't greeted them yet because they saw my story. I'm going to say, what you know about that? Just to tease them, right? But it's important, guys, as African Americans, that we think about. I was on a podcast today. I was a guest on a radio show, the Financial Hour with Nate Banks today. And we were talking about financial literacy. And there was a question that he asked me, and he said to me, why is it that, man, we do so many GoFundMes, especially black folk? Why? And I said to him, because we don't plan. We don't plan. You don't see the value. You don't see the value. I try to say like an African American, the value, from the South, the value. I live in the South. You don't see the value in preparing and planning. I just saw an ad on TikTok today. This guy said one of his buddies died and he did not plan, and his daughter had to use a credit card and spend $8,000 to bury him. You're putting yourself in debt. I mean, in this day and age, nah. Man, from the time you're 2 weeks old, right? From the time you're 2 weeks old, people did not know that back in the day, but there is no reason. If you're my Facebook friend, right? I know you all see my posts. And if you don't see my posts, some of you all, you're full of crap, because I put it on my story too. Because some of y'all, you be watching people's stories and you pretending like you don't see the post. There is nobody who's my friend on social media. And if you don't know what I do, Like one time someone come and ask me like for a loan. I'm like, I'm not a loan officer. No, I teach you how to protect what you have so that I teach you how to become a bank as well so you can have access to disposable income when the situation happens. I'm not a bank. So it's important, folks, it's important as people of color, especially African Americans, that nothing is wrong with culture. Nothing is wrong with fashion. I mean, I like a nice fashionable thing too. Nothing is wrong with trends. Music is my love language. Man, if you go to my TikTok, I'm always playing songs and trying to tell a story. Even when I make a post on Facebook, I put music too. That's my love language. Beauty, technology. Yeah, you gotta have a good phone that works. But if nothing's wrong with your phone, you don't need to get an iPhone 17. There's some people every year the new iPhone come out. I got a new one. I got Christmas last year or 2 years ago. I don't know if it was the 16 or whatever it was, but you know, but but we don't. Do we need that all the time? Do we? There's some people who will not drive, an economy car, like a Toyota Corolla or Camry. Those things are great on gas, especially the hybrid ones. I have an old BMW here that's been sitting there dead and having towed out. Man, I just bought what I did in October. I just bought an older car. It's a Nissan Maxima. You know, but just some people they have to have high-end cars, and nothing is wrong with high-end cars if you can afford it. And you can't be having all the high-end everything, and then you're on people's DMs begging. I'm not saying mine per se, but people always want people to help them, and they always think that no. You wanna be a baller shot caller? Well, roll like a baller shot caller. I love people who are disciplined, who are balanced, who budget and live within their means. I remember one time my best friend, when I was living in South Carolina, he was like, "So man, I was so proud of you. The way how you lived." I was living by myself back then, and he's like, "Man, you just put stuff because you don't need to do all these different things." Like, guys, I am not telling you not to take a vacation. I'm not telling you not to have nice dresses and nice pants and nice cars. That's not my thing. I'm going to tell you something. I went to see a client the other day, and nothing is wrong with, what people do. And sometimes people have some financial hardships. You don't know what their situation is. They may have had bad credit, or they may have gone to a bankruptcy, or different things like that. But this person was paying over $700 for like a Nissan Sentra or Nissan Altima. I'm like over $700. And I told the person, and I was very careful so I didn't insult the individual. I said, "I'm looking at your car, I can't remember what the car was, but I know it wasn't above an Altima. It was probably below that, but whatever." I said, "How's your credit?" I just asked them that question, and they told me what happened. And it's not their fault, but they're paying over $700 a month for a car payment. And I said to an individual, and they were asking me my advice, should they want to get a truck? And I said, "No, man, nah. Pay this off, get your credit right, then you can get your truck." I didn't say forget the truck, forever and ever, amen. I said, man, nah. Just keep paying your stuff, get it over with, and improve your credit, and then you'll be able, let me make this better, then you'll be able to get that truck. And nothing is wrong with waiting to do stuff. Don't compare yourself to other families or other ethnicities or what people are doing. Put stuff in place for you within your budget. Don't let anyone stress you. Like sometimes when I present to individuals and they don't do what I say, I'm not mad at them. I don't have to pay for it. They do. But it's not a payment. It's more of as an investment in themselves. And when they're ready, and that's why there's some people who took a long time, some people who will take some time, and some people I wish they would just do what I say. But you know what? That's not how it works. People don't have to take orders from me, and I don't recommend anyone anyone do. What I'm saying here is do your research, learn. I educate people free. As a matter, people always ask me what's my cost, and I could be charging people for consultations, but I don't. You know why? The reason why I don't charge them is because I want to educate them, and I want them to become my client, and I want them to tell somebody else. And listen, a lot of people, when I talk to people, right, I know people have friends and family that they confide in, but let me tell you something. What I do, your friends and family are not more versed in it than what I do. I don't care how many degrees they got or whatever they got. They don't. Just like I know I can't fix cars, I know I can't nail no nails, do construction, do sheetrock. Don't ask me to do that. I can put out your garbage. I can probably cut your grass for you. Don't ask me to paint. Don't ask me to nail nails. Don't ask me to fix nothing. I'm all thumbs. That's not me. But I can show you on the financial side how to create a plan, how to become a bank, how to use other people's money. I can show you how to eliminate debt and create wealth simultaneously. I can show you a plethora of ways that you can use life insurance. You could use it for college planning. You can use it for debt elimination, vacation planning. You can use it for buy-sell agreements for your businesses. You can use it for so many things, man. Golly gee. And it's the kind of life insurance you don't have to die to use. God forbid something happens to you, you can access it. I'm seeing people now getting dementia earlier. So what I try to do is to educate, pontificate, teach, show. And I take great pride in that. And the reason why I do, because I think it's important that individuals, understand it. So why is it that Black folks, we're so big on culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, tech, and we supply in all of these industries. We're making Apple reach, R-I-C-H, my accent coming out. We're making Michael Jordan sneakers, Jordan brand, and Nikes. And what is wrong with those things, bro? I have one. What I'm saying to you guys is that if the other day I made a post, right? Easter Sunday. Excuse me. Some of you guys probably saw it. I wanted to wear a nice pink shirt or a nice blue shirt, but my belly's too big and I gained weight. Well, what I need to do is to go to the gym, exercise more, eat less, stop eating bread and pasta like my belly, so I can fit in that shirt. I'm not going to buy new shirts. It's the same thing when it comes to your financials. You can't just buy everything that you want to. If you want to do something, budget for it. If it's in your budget, then it's okay. If it's not in your budget, if it's not a necessity, no, it's a luxury. Do you do emotional spending? Like you go to the mall and you buy something that you don't even really want, like a Louis Vuitton wallet for like $10,000. Do you do that, folks? Let me tell you something. I take great pride in educating, right? And sometimes I walk away from people and people walk away from me. Let me explain. When I say I walk away from people, what I mean by that is if I'm educating you on a concept and it's not that you're not getting it, but like you're wasting my time, I'm out. And sometimes people are not ready and sometimes people don't understand. But the concepts that I teach, some of them are complicated, but it's very easy if you listen to me. Folks, I would rather you tell me, you know what, I don't get it. I would rather you tell me you don't get it 50 times and I have to try 50 different ways to explain it to you. Because I ain't smarter than none of y'all. I'm just better looking with my gray. Someone called me Silver Fox the other day and I'm walking around. My son, my oldest son, Terrence Jr. said, Dad, keep that. Man, you don't know how that made me feel. I felt like a king. So now I'm rocking my gray, So I used to take it off so I can look young and sexy. Now I'm gray and sexy. So my point I'm trying to say to you guys is this. Similar. What I'm trying to say to you guys is to make sure that you listen to a trusted, licensed financial professional who can teach you. One of my biggest challenges with people, right, is people who spend money frivolously and want people to bail them out. That pisses me off. It annoys me. Now, we all get into situations sometimes, but you just can't be just spending, 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 and everything you see you want to do. Sometimes you got to do, I was cursed. Sometimes you got to do a staycation. If you didn't plan for the vacation, do a staycation. Don't be borrowing money to do a vacation or to go to something, fun. No, you borrow money if you had to for necessities. Your water heater's gone, or you this, you that, you're destitute, but not for fun. You don't do that. You don't do that. Good evening. Who's that just said hi to me here on Facebook? I'm trying to take a look. I'm trying to say Isabel Carbon. Sakafet. Bonsoir. I got your message last night. I'll keep looking and I'll let you know. So, folks, it's paramount that just because you and me look like we do, we're brown skin, African American, that's what they call us here in America. If you're black, culture is okay, fashion is okay, trends okay, music okay, but beauty and tech, entertainment, we can't just be concentrating on that. We have to start thinking about housing, owning properties, investments. A lot of the other ethnicities, they'll join their resources together and start businesses, whether it's construction, gas stations, restaurant. But people who look like me, boy, we always fighting like cats and freaking dogs. We cannot collaborate. We're like crabs in a barrel. I don't want to see you. If you're doing good, you tell me what you're doing. There's enough for everybody to eat. White people have the highest aggregate wealth in this country, and we're never going to catch up to them. We never will. They're like a 400-year start, 250-year start, 500-year start on us, right? But you can do better for yourself and your family. Some of you have children. Why is it that you're not talking with me about having a IUL, an Index Universal Life Policy for your child that you can overfund so that by the time they get out of college, they have enough money for a down payment for a house? You put in $50 or $100 a month. You're all spending more on that on doggone food a day. I ain't tell you no go out to eat. I ain't tell you no get your nails done and your toes did and your hair done. Yeah, do all that stuff. But make sure it's within your budget. I was talking to one of my clients who recently retired or was laid off. And they said, well, I'm doing my own pedicure. I was like, you go, girl. And trust me, this person can afford a pedicure. They can go to the place. But they're very money conscious. And, they own 2 homes. They're in a debt elimination program with me. So they bought a house when they were about 59, 60, a 30-year mortgage. With the program I set up for them, they'll be able to pay off their house by the time they're 69. Instead of 60, 70, 80, 90. You know what I mean? Folks, it's not rocket science. I don't think any other ethnicity is smarter than us because, even in America, Americans have gone through so much. Slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, but we're still standing strong. What we have to do is change our mindset about money. Excuse me. Change your mindset about money. What you have to start thinking about is your future self. And the only person who can take care of your future self is your current self. Excuse me. The only person who can take care of your future self is your current self, right? Your future self can't take care of your future self. So right now that you're younger and you're working, you got to start putting stuff in place. I was talking to a young man young man, about 31 years old last week, and he said he may not want to work till he's 65 or 67 or 70. He might want to retire in his 50s. So I said to him, I can show you a plan. So I asked him for a financial questionnaire, and I'm waiting for it. Then I'm going to show him what he can do. But you know what? He's 31. Some of you are older. Some of you didn't meet me at 31. I would love to see people right out of college start using these concepts that I teach. Start thinking about, some of you are grandparents. Give your grandchild a start. Not Nintendo or I don't even know what you call those games. PS3 or those games. I don't even play them. I don't even know. Ain't nothing wrong with those games. Financial literacy, man, is where it's at. We can do better. We can do better. We can do better. I want us to do like the other ethnicities who are concentrating on, real estate, technology, education. For example, okay, some of you want to get into investments. I don't do investments, right? Like mutual funds, stocks, bonds. But what I'm saying, if you go to Starbucks every day, why don't you have Starbucks stock? If you wear only Nike and Jordans, why don't you have their stock? Any company that's publicly traded that you're using all your stuff all the time, why don't you get a mutual fund? But remember, I was having a conversation with a colleague today. We were talking about people say, oh yeah, you get a Roth IRA, it's tax-free, but you're capped on what you can put in it. You can access it to your 59 and a half. Well, the concepts that I teach, as long as you build the cash value, you can access it tax-free or tax-favored if you structure it properly, fund it properly, and you access it properly to the proper channels and the proper ways that it should be. I don't think white people are smarter than us. I don't think Asian people are smarter than us. I don't think Hispanic people are wiser than us. I don't think any of that. I just think, we're stuck in a rut. We don't want to change, and everybody got to look good. Everybody want to one-up people. Why don't you one-up people by owning multiple properties? Why don't you one-up people by making sure you put stuff in place? Why don't you one-up people by partnering with somebody? You don't partner with anybody inside of business, but if there's something you're passionate about, do your research. Do your research. It gives me great pride, to talk to people who, like I always tell my clients, when I meet them for the first time, I say, pat yourself on the back. You did the best you know how. Pat yourself on the back. You know why? Because when you pat yourself on the back, it's affirmation. It may not be confirmation that you did everything right, but it's affirmation you did the best that you could. And starting from today, I said a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? Knowledge is not power either. You can't be watching Tuesdays with Terrence for 6 years and you never make a change. You got to apply the knowledge. Apply it. Why aren't you applying it to what you want to accomplish? You own a home. You're putting something away for your future. You have some investments. But learn to maximize that and learn how to access it tax-free. Change some of the things that you're doing, but talk to someone who knows and listen. There's this person I've been talking to since last year, and every time I talk to them, it's like pulling teeth. And I want to be like, are you listening to me? I can't do that. The point I'm trying to make here is that they have so many excuses. And you don't have the time. You're already in your 60s. You're not 21 or 31 or even 41 or even 51. Folks, start something. Start on a smaller scale and see how it's growing. And then you can add to it. But do something. Change what you're doing. If what you're doing is not working, they call it insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and looking for different results. Folks, the other ethnicities have their priorities straight. I told you whites already have the highest aggregate wealth in this country. Hispanics, they're more concerned about food, housing, family, related goals. Asians, housing, real estate, education, tech, real estate, all that stuff. But we do I have the new Louis Vuitton? When I see people in designer clothes, and I have some designer stuff, right? It doesn't impress me. Sometimes stuff that's no name brand looks better. But you ever see people either have a Gucci watch, they got to make sure the Gucci is showing, or they got a Coach shoe, or Calvin Klein, or whatever the big designers are. I don't even know. I don't even care. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of times you see the wealthy people doing, they get those stuff for free. They're modeling it for those people. I ain't spending more than $10 or $12 for a wallet. I'm spending $5,000 for a Louis Vuitton wallet. No. I have a black Calvin Klein wallet. I bought at Burlington for my birthday last year. It cost me about $12.95. Or maybe $7.95 on sale. I don't remember. Go to the off-brand stores and buy the same stuff. If you got, some of you adults act like you in middle school. I gotta have the latest Jordans and the latest this and or else kids are gonna make fun of me. You know what? Man, give him the finger. You're an adult. If you're an adult and you're making fun of someone's clothing or someone, if they don't have designer, what do you mean? It's 8th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, high school? When I was in high school, my parents couldn't afford that stuff, man. I was a skinny dude, short little dude, but I was strong with the mouth. Ain't nobody punking me. Nobody. You can't. Even today, nobody can punk me. Not in my business, not on the streets. I don't care what ethnicity you are. I don't care how much education you have. I don't care how much knowledge you have. Man, we are equal. You may have more knowledge about a specific discipline than I do, but you're not better than me. You're not. And you're not gonna impress me because you drive a Porsche or Benz or whatever or Lamborghini. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. I told you all this story before. I went to see a client I'll never forget in this town in Virginia. Won't call the name. Protect the innocents. Back in 2007, 8, 9, I can't remember what year it was. I passed that house 4 times. Boom. Nah, that's not that way. Nah, that's it. 4 times. Then I finally, I said, that is the address. I went up in there. Big house, brick house, huge. I was like, what? They balling. Chandelier, how you call those ceilings, those tall ceilings? I forgot what you call them. And I go into there, plastic chairs and a Christmas tree short, reached by my knee. And the roof was so high just because I have a big house. Now, nothing's wrong with that. But you could have a smaller house and be able to have regular chairs. And then you can build up. And as you do better, you do better, and you do better. And I'm not there to tell the people not to do that. That's not my point. My point, I'm just saying, in the part of town that it was in, when I walked in there, I expected it to look like the house outside. The house looked nice outside, but on the inside, I've seen little houses with better stuff in it. So my point, I'm saying, are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? Are you trying to impress people? Folks, all I can tell you is this. All the ethnicities out there, they're doing what they got to do. People of color, brown people who look like me, let's start building. Let's start putting stuff away for our futures. Whether you have a child or you don't have any children, whether you're single, whether you are married, I don't care what it is. Put something in place. And you need help? Let me show you how to structure it properly. Because when I show you how to structure it properly, believe me, in 10 years, you'll be like, thank you. In 20 years, when my client lost their job last December, I was sad for them, but and they were going to probably retire at 65. I told them, why don't you go to 67? That's what I was telling them. They were working for like 40 years. But I wasn't worried because they've been my client for 6 years, and everything I've done, I told them to do, they've done it. And that's not why I love this client. I love this client because they know that they don't know what they don't know. I hate to talk to people who like always think they know. You don't know everything. I told you I don't know nothing about fixing cars and laying sheetrock and doing fixing washing machines, and don't call me for none of that. But ask me about these concepts. Let me roll over your 401k for you. Let me put an IUL in place for you, or an infinite banking concept where you can build cash and you can access tax-free to take your vacations, to go to Hawaii and Dubai and the Caribbean and South America and Central America and Iceland and wherever you want to go. Let's use a get out of debt program for you. Money, some of you don't have a money problem, you have a spending problem. And money is like water. It has to find somewhere to go. And if you're not putting it in the right buckets, you're just spending it frivolously. There are some people who listen to what I tell them and they do it. And there's some people who don't listen to what I tell them and they don't do it. And there's some people who's just not ready. But all of you, just remember, if you're not sure of what I'm teaching, start trying. You know what? You can do your research. Some of my biggest clients in the past, I've never met. I have a medical doctor client in New York I've never met. She's been my client since 2020. She saw me on a podcast and she reached out to me and we created some stuff for her and her children. I have some clients I've never, ever met. Ever. There were referrals, but this one was not a referral. So I have clients I've never met. So if you know me personally, or we went to school together, or we grew up together, or you know me through someone else, I'm not going anywhere. You know how to find me. Let me help you. But again, it's your choice. It's not my choice. I can say, don't let too late be your cry. I don't want African Americans or people who look like me to just be worried about culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, technology, and doggone entertainment. I don't want you to plan a big 50-year birthday or 21-year-old birthday party or certain milestones in your life, and you can have that, but you could have planned for it by overfunding an IUL, by doing an infinite banking concept, and then you could have taken the money to do that. But you didn't you didn't interrupt compounding. You use other people's money and then you can pay it back while earning as the market moves, or even if the market didn't move and you do it from a fixed guaranteed one. Folks, there are so many options of things you can do. I'm here. You want to get in touch with me? Havis Terrence Bardu. You can call me H, 864-607-1361. Also, my business number is rolling there, but call my cell phone, man. I don't even know if I even check that business number anytime. But my cell phone, you got 24-hour access to me. You want to see a little bit more about me? Go to my website. I don't go to people's website. I listen to you. If I like you, I like you. But my website is bfsfinancialservices.com. Reach out to me. You see, I put stuff on, all my social media platforms. I want to help you. I want to help some of you this month. Some of you text that deadline tomorrow. Some of you are going to get huge tax returns. What are you going to do with the money? You're going to buy a car, a depreciating asset. You're going to go on a vacation. When it's done, you have nothing to show for it. You might have a tan line. I'm not saying don't do that, but use some of it in a more efficient manner. Let me show you how. Some of you getting big tax returns. You could have made an annual premium, not even a monthly one. You don't have to make another premium for another year. But you're securing yourself. And it's not too late. It's not too late. You know, I want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight. I see, oh, my big sister Ernestine Peltier was watching tonight. I didn't even give her a shout out. Boy, Sakafe Titatin, and Daryl and Melinda and June, Badui Ansem, Arvin, Vassar, and everybody else who watched tonight. Isabel Carbon, all the way in Antigua. And for those who may watch it later, let me help you. What are you scared about? What are you afraid about? Do you watch my show just to support me, or you watch it to learn or to make some decisions? Either way, I'm grateful. And those of you who have already put some stuff in place, good for you. Continue to do that. But let me show you other avenues and other things you can do as well. My Boston Celtics are in the playoffs. Jesus is still king. Gas is high. But guess what? You still have to plan. You still have to plan. And I can help you do that.
Battery medium. Connected to fire salad.
I can help you do that, folks. The show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Havis Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. If you're from the 767 YT Kuwuli, tall is her body. The Commonwealth of Dominica, from the village of Point Michel, aka La Pointe, the parish of St. Luke. You call me Luku Boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, and the South sustains me. Mandy, how are you doing, my dear? It was so good to see you last week, darling. I haven't seen you in almost 30 years. It was great seeing you in Virginia and your cousin Brent. Tonight we talked about, Mandy, the different cultures, different ethnicities. Black folks, they like culture, fashion, trends, music, beauty, technology, entertainment. The white people, they have the highest aggregate wealth in the country. Hispanics concentrate more on food, housing, family, related goods. The Asians, they're on real estate, education, technology. But I want African Americans to start building wealth. And some of you need to talk to your children that they need to talk to me, because some of your children will never listen to me because I'm an old G. But you got to say, I trust this guy explicitly. And he can help you so that when you get to my age, you can be a baller, shot caller. But listen, folks, I am very grateful for each and every one of you who tune in. Sometimes, Brent Smith tuned in sometimes. All right, cool. Yeah, man. I told Sandy to text him too about some properties in Petersburg. But let me tell you guys this. Don't let too late be your cry. Don't just say, yeah, man, hey, this is good, so good information, but you're not doing anything about it. I don't care if you have an advisor. You can do more. I don't care if you have a guy or a gal. I educate, I teach, I do it every Tuesday, at 7 p.m. because I love what I do. I love educating people. I do. Nadine Slaughter, good evening, young lady. How are you all the way in Georgia? Nadine Slaughter is someone else who's teaching you. I should go follow her on social media as well. Go get her book as well. Folks, different ethnicities value wealth building, businesses, real estate, all of that stuff. And I think we can do the same thing as well. Even if you own a home, make sure that your children are structured properly so that when they get to a certain age, they'll be able to have enough money for a down payment for a home. And you can use, your cash value to do a plethora of things. I've already talked about that. We're not going to regurgitate all of that stuff. But the show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Thank you for tuning in tonight. As we close and I play my theme song, I pray each and every one of you will reconsider and make the right decisions for your family. All right? Thanks for tuning in. God bless you. And hasta la vista, babies. Boston raised me, the South sustains me.
Dominica made me, that's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I be. Ow! Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Woo!
On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. Ow! A licensed financial pro.
Thankful, how you doing? Good to see you. Beach Marshall, good to see you. Rumbo, everybody else who tuned in, Rose, Mondo, and everybody else, God bless you.
Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me.
Thank you, Lord. Yeah. Here's the outro.
So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty and Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side.
Folks, tomorrow I'll be at Virginia Commonwealth University trying to recruit some young entrepreneurs. If you know anyone who goes to Virginia State, not Virginia State, but Virginia Commonwealth University, send them by our booth. We'll be more than happy to talk to them. Folks, this is new. Make sure you put everything in place. I told you what the Caucasians do. I told you what the Hispanics do. I told you what the Asians do. As African Americans, you have to make sure that you secure your financial legacy. Protect your income, eliminate debt, and create a legacy, especially for your children. And if you have young children, make sure you protect them now so that by the time they reach my age, they can live like a baller, shot caller. I want to say a special hello to my beautiful friend from Tampa, Florida, Ardoni Valderrama. I call her the Nicaragua Queen. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. The show is over. It's usually every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always follow you. Thanks for supporting me. And for all of you who watched tonight, God bless you. Melinda Fraser, Cherie, bonsoir, doudou, au revoir, mwah, hasta la vista, bonita. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. God bless you all. Make it a good night. I'm out. Thank you for your support. I don't take it for granted. I love you. I respect you. And I thank you. Hasta la vista, babies. I'm out. Let me end my session right now.